Hi, I'm Scott Willison, owner of the Confluence Fly Shop in Bellingham, Washington. And today we're going to tie a fly I've been playing around with on Pass Lake, up about 40 minutes from the fly shop. Pass is a fly fishing only lake. It gets a lot of pressure, and sometimes those fish can be pretty picky. At certain times of the year when you don't have chironomids hatching and other insects in abundance, the fish turn to the robust population of fathead minnows on the lake. You'll often find them feeding on the minnows near dusk off the edges of floating weed beds. And I've had some pretty humbling evenings trying to find a pattern to match the small minnows. So this is a fly I've been playing around with lately that has served me very well. It accounted for several fish my first outing, and it's a great sort of all-purpose minnow imitation in any lake where you got fish feeding on shiners, fathead minnows, and other things. You can alter the colors as you see fit, but today I'm going to show you how to tie the hull pass, which is what I call this thing. In the vise, I have a size 10 Hanak 450 BL. This has got a nice wide gap, hooks fish very well. And then on that hook, I've got a 3.5 millimeter gold Hanak slotted tungsten bead to fit that jig hook. We're going to start up here with some white 140 Denier Ultra thread. And we'll just get a good thread base going down our hook shank. And then I've got just kind of the tip I snipped off here from a plume of white Marabou that we're going to use for our tail. And I'm going to make that tail about equal to the length of the hook shank. And tying that in right behind the bead, and then winding back over it just to give ourselves an even underbody. All right, and then for our flash, we're going to dub a little ball here. This is ice dub in the UV Minnow Belly color. I like this one a lot. Oh, we got way too much on there. We're just going to get a little bit in there. Gonna form our body. I want to rough that up a little bit just to get some of that color blending in with the tail. So I'm going to use my Loon dubbing brush, kind of scraggle that up. And then we're going to add a collar of, this is ice dub. My label fell off somewhere, but this is the Callibaetis color. It's kind of a tan, gray, brown color. And I'm just going to pull some out and kind of straighten those fibers out. And then I'm going to use my fingers to just kind of mold that around the entirety of the hook. Take a couple wraps over it. And then brush that back. We can brush that out a little bit. Add just a little bit more on top. Those fathead minnows are kind of a beige and olive color scheme overall. So got that in there. And then we are going to go ahead and do our head, for which we're going to use 2 different colors of Senyo's Laser Dub. For my top color, I'm going to do olive. For the bottom color, we will do tan. And I'm just going to pull a little bit of this out. And we're going to roughly mold that around the top portion of the hook and center tie that. So we've got half facing forward, half going backwards. And then we will do the exact same thing on the bottom with the tan. This stuff's just a real fine acrylic material that's got a little bit of flash mixed in with it too. All right, and then now that I've got that in place, I'll wrap over the top and then wrap over the bottom a little bit. And then I want to kind of build up that head, give myself a good platform for my eyes. Last little bit I'm going to add to this is just some flash. And one of the things you notice about the red side shiners, fathead minnows, they have a pretty dark lateral line on them, a lot like a largemouth bass. So we're going to use some black crinkle mirror flash to try to capture that effect. And I've just got one long strand. I'm tying that in kind of in the middle and then winding back over it. And then I'll fold it over. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. And when I trim these, I typically trim them not quite the same length. And that's gonna give our side there. We can then go ahead and whip finish the fly. And we just have the head left to do. We're going to put some eyes on here. And sometimes I'll take just some forceps too and kind of try to flatten that just a little bit to make the eyes easier to get on. For our eyes, we're going to use Super Pearl holographic eyes in the 1/8 inch. And we'll just stick one on each side here. All right, once we've got those in place, I'm going to go ahead and use my UV resin. I've got a Loon thin, and we're going to do this in stages. I'm going to start out by just filling in the gaps between the eyes here on both sides. Double check that other eye is not quite where I want it. There we go. And we'll fill in the top. One of the great things about working with these UV products is you can go a little bit at a time and not try to do it all at once. Your fly usually turns out much better that way. Because I don't want this stuff to run into my materials. All right. Now we're going to just go around the whole eyes here to get those locked into place. And then we'll rotate the vise as we're doing that to keep it all even. And then this stuff dries with a little bit of tack to it, which irritates me to no end. So I'm going to do an overcoat of the bone dry ultra thin Solaris formula just to harden it up and get rid of that tack. And just a few seconds should take care of that. I'm going to give things another brush. This laser yarn and everything takes permanent markers really well too, so you could color it up. Make any sort of changes there that you want to do to make it look special. But there you have it, the Hall Pass. It's been a very effective minnow pattern on pass, especially around the weed beds. It is going to fish upside down like so with the jig hook, so it helps keep you out of the weeds as well. Anyway, you can find the materials for this fly and several others at the Confluence Fly Shop in Bellingham, Washington. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. We'll see you on the water.